Hold on. So start that again and to just talk to me for a minute. So,
My name is Michael Saunders. I am married to my wife, Linda Saunders. We have a daughter named Shanna, and we have 2 grandchildren. And my son-in-law's name is Max.
what are the grandkids' names?
Jane and Rose.
And how old are they?
Jane is 4. Rose is, I believe, 10 months. I won't have my eye to do that again. But
Less than a year old.
yeah.
Okay. They're both cute.
Very beautiful,
Cute as
very
can be.
spunky, extremely smart. That is true. Of course, having my daughter work with them on a daily basis is a big plus because she's a school teacher. So she works with her daughters very well. And for their age, they're very mature acting other than being funny and silly. And who's not funny and silly? I'm probably one of the funny and silliest persons you're ever going to meet. So that's a plus to me.
I know how you say it with a straight face.
Just that way, buddy. I'm a silly old man, but
Life is good. And so, if you want to, let's go ahead and talk about from the beginning, right, where you were born, and talk about that and grew up, and some of the things about
like good
schooling.
in the swamp.
Yeah.
I think that because I was so young, and my uncle took me hunting, and he went into a swamp, and it was up to my chest, but he made me walk through the swamp with him, and I got to the other side, and I was worn out, and he says, well, I gotta follow these dogs, and if you wanna go ahead and go back, go back. He said it, and I believe it, in a way to make sure I wouldn't go back, but I took it as a order for him, for me to go back. And I started out, and because the dogs were barking so loud, and my uncle was running towards the dogs, he did not hear me go back through the swamp. Sometimes it went over my head. I had moss all over my head. And when I got to the other side, I was crying, and I had to walk back through the woods that we had came through, and finally make it to our home. And when I started getting close, our dogs started barking and woke my family up. And my father came out. I've heard he did come out with a gun, and I've heard he didn't. But he came out thinking something was wrong. He had no idea I wasn't in bed. He thought I was asleep, and that we had came back from hunting hours before. Well, when he saw the shape I was in, he rushed down the steps, grabbed me, and rushed me back inside because I had all this moss and everything all over my body. I looked pretty bad. And the dogs outside started barking, and my father went out to see what was happening now. Well, it was my uncle with his dogs, and he ran up and said that he had lost me, and he was very upset and crying. And my father said, he is inside, he's already had his bath, we've already put him to bed, but he said, what did you do? How could you lose Michael? And why would you take him in a swamp chasing an animal where your dogs were chasing? And you told him to go home if he could not keep up with him. And I understand you didn't think he could do that and would not think he would even try that. That's not me, though, even back then. And so he started crying. My father took him and hugged him. And that's one of my issues, which was a positive one. It ended good for me because I actually was surprised that I made it, to be honest. I was afraid I was going to drown. Or another thing that is real bad there.
How old were you?
I wasn't in the first grade yet, so 6, something like that.